To view this video, please enable JavaScript, and consider upgrading to a web browser that supports HTML5. His death in the summer of 1968 sent shockwaves around the world, and undoubtedly changed the landscape of America politics and life forever. Now, as politics has begun to divide the U.S. more than ever, Netflix are preparing to release a gripping new docu-series centered around Bobby Kennedy's decision to go for the presidency. Using rare and never-before-seen archive footage alongside interviews with staffers, Bobby Kennedy for President aims to offer us a new point of view when it comes to that fateful summer's evening. Here's everything we know about it. What exactly is Bobby Kennedy for President all about? Well, it's not just a one-off, it's a four-part series on the streaming service which revolves around Bobby Kennedy and his decision to run for the presidency in 1968. The series is set to transport you back to that year and offer an insight into why JFK's younger brother decided to follow in his footsteps, using his own voice and viewpoint. What's so special about this series? The docu-series isn't just a rehash of old arguments and the same stills you've seen time and again. It seeks to bring a fresh new eye to the events leading up to the senator's death in Los Angeles. It goes beyond just covering this event and his presidential run, and chooses to examine what provoked the senator to start his run and what legacy he has left behind. Using rare and never-seen-before archive footage, director Don Porter juxtaposes RFK's voice with that of confidants and staffers. Okay, sounds intriguing, but remind me, who is Bobby Kennedy and why was he so important? Robert F. Kennedy was Senator of New York from January 1965 up until his death in Los Angeles in June 1968. Known as Bobby to many, he was the younger brother of President John F. Kennedy, JFK, who was shot dead in Dallas, in November 1963. Bobby started his political working for Joe McCarthy as he embarked upon his communist witch hunts in the 50s. It's also worth noting he worked on his brother's run for the Senate around this time too. It wasn't until his brother's presidential campaign in 1960 that the young lawyer became an important face in American life. As campaign manager, he was instrumental in helping JFK reach the White House, and in return for his help he was made Attorney General. 3 years after his brother was sworn in, and a year after his death, Bobby ran for senator in New York. He won, and quickly became an advocate for civil rights. He was a hot favorite from the start when he launched his presidential campaign, and after winning the Californian primaries in the summer of 1968 he was tipped to get the Democratic nominations and face off against Richard Nixon. Sadly, that same day he was shot several times by Palestinian Saran as he left the Ambassador Hotel in Los Angeles. He died the next day, just 5 years after JFK. Bobby Kennedy for President will air globally on Netflix tomorrow. More, Riverdale Season 2 Episode 19 Recap, 3 kidnappings tied together, an epic character reveal. More, Netflix UK in May 2018, Best New TV Series and Movies, from Dear White People to Riverdale.